Hey beautiful people, it's Victoria, your healthy hair and esteem coach here from Volume Life Salon Studio and Volume Life Mastery. And today I'm going to be sharing with you the difference between moisture balance and moisture overload, or as some of us like to call it, greasiness. I wanted to dive deep into this topic because a lot of us with naturally kinky, curly, coiled, textured hair in general, we actually share a lot of the same experiences when it comes to our hair journey and things that we've used over the decades to maintain our curls. I'm sure a lot of you guys, just like me, have used Pink Oil Moisturizer or Blue Magic at least once in your whole entire life, especially back in the day when we were kids and our parents were responsible for our hair. But now that things have changed and natural hair is not really a trend, it's really a lifestyle and it's a whole movement. Now we have a whole lot of information out there. There's a lot more quality products on the market. There are a lot of different people that are providing information for us online, on social media, in blogs, on TV. Natural hair is even making the news more now today than it ever has before. With all this influx of information and access to things and tools that we can use for our hair, sometimes we get a little bit confused on what things we should actually be anticipating to see and experience with our hair and with products. Whether you've been natural for a while, or you're just now transitioning, or you just did your big job so you have a TWA, there is a bit of a learning curve that we all have to experience and grow through on our natural hair journey. A part of that learning curve includes us getting adjusted to how our hair feels when it's moisture balanced compared to what we're used to our hair feeling like when it was most likely greasy or moisture overloaded. So let's get right into it. First things first, what is moisture balance? Moisture balance, in the simplest terms, is when your hair is at a state where its pH, moisture level, and protein level is completely balanced and equal. The reason why these three components are so important is because when the pH balance is off, our hair is naturally brittle. The outside layer of the hair is roughed up and off balance, and as we know, our outside layer, or the cuticle layer of our hair, kind of looks like shingles on the house. So once they're in a state where they're unbalanced, they kind of flip up and they kind of lock in on one another, and it creates that natural rough texture. When protein is off balance, our hair is a lot more weaker and more prone to breaking off from the simplest things like rubbing on our shoulders. If our hair is past a certain length where it can actually touch, we have some people who experience breakage just from simply our hair touching our clothes. And when our moisture balance is off, no matter what we use on it, our hair cannot retain moisture and oils that we're looking to input into the hair shaft. So with that being said, a lot of us can kind of start to realize why our hair has such a hard time with maintaining and retaining moisture, and why we may feel like we have to put so much extra oil and so much extra work in trying to instill moisture in the hair. So I'm going to give you 3 super easy steps that you need to know that'll help you maintain balance. As you guys know, one of the things that I believe in is that you don't have to spend a ton of money at the salon to have your hair function at its healthiest and to actually rebuild your relationship with your hair. However, there are some things that require a professional's insight, and a lot of the times it doesn't require us to get a full out service, which can cost, a cute pretty penny, but we can do something as simple as a consultation. Some hairstylists even have consultations for free, and if they're not free, a consultation is like a fraction of the price of getting a full service. So if you're someone who is focused on building your budget right now, or you're focused on really sticking to a strict budget and getting your money up in the year 2022, and you don't really have a lot of wiggle room to invest in luxury services like getting your hair done, think about investing in at least a consultation. That way, on your healthy hair journey this year, you can stay focused on your budget, and also your hair doesn't have to suffer. Saying that takes us right into my first recommendation that I would recommend if you're looking to maintain or restore moisture balance in your hair. The first thing I would recommend is, just like I mentioned, is a consultation with a professional that you trust with your naturally textured hair. The reason why I recommend a consultation is simply because they can point you in the right direction, which can save you money and time. Stylists also can offer the right treatments for your hair type and the hair challenges that you may face at home. Some treatments that perform at their best are only professionally sold. So although there are treatments that are on the market that you can go into Sally's or your local beauty supply store and purchase, there are treatments that are designed and formulated to penetrate the hair on different levels that actually helps your hair show up in the best way that it can, that's only sold to professionals. So seeking a professional that you trust with your naturally textured hair who offers treatments will be a really big point of difference in your healthy hair journey and your at-home hair care regimen. The second thing I recommend to maintain moisture balance is to avoid using water unless you are about to shampoo the hair. A lot of the times the water that we use that comes from our faucet or our shower head, the pH level is way higher than our hair and our skin likes to live at. So if we're using water every day to detangle or to style, or we're thinking that water is going to help create moisture so we can have better definition, we're actually fighting the purpose and we're going against the grain. And like I mentioned, when our pH balance is off, the hair is brittle, so the curls won't stay defined. Once the hair is no longer dripping wet, the hair gets hard, it's brittle, it's hard to move, it's hard to maneuver, and all those are signs that your hair pH balance is off, so your cuticle layer is now stiff and stuck and is hard to get through. If you're a person who is used to functioning with their hair while it's damp and it's easier for you to maintain while it's damp, there is a solution for you. I talk about this product all the time. It's called Pink Moisture Mist, and it is a polymer product that's designed with aloe vera and pH balancing components that gives you the similar properties of water, as in it softens and dampens the hair, but it actually helps to balance out the pH level, which makes it even more easier than using water to get through and maintain the curls. The last thing I recommend to help you maintain moisture balance is using lightweight oils that are formulated to penetrate the hair shaft, and typically those oils are already liquid at room temp. If you're a person who have been using, let's say, shea butter, for instance, we all know that shea butter and even coconut oil, we have to soften them up with our body heat and with our hands before we apply them to anything. However, when we apply products like that to our hair, once they cool again, they go back to their natural state. That's a natural property of that particular type of oil. So once it cools off, it actually hardens in our hair, and it makes it hard and difficult for things to penetrate the hair or even to be released from the hair in the shampooing process. One of my pro tips that I recommend when it comes to using oil for the hair is to use oil based off your hair type. That includes not only your curls' natural separation, but also what your porosity is. The reason why I say this is because someone with, let's say, low porosity could probably use a lightweight oil for the hair strands more often than someone with a medium, normal, or high porosity. Typically people with lower porosity, their hair struggles with taking things in because the cuticle layer is so tight together. So someone like that could use a nice oil maybe 1 to 2 times a week on the hair, where someone with a high porosity whose hair just kind of sucks things in and really takes it all in because it's so porous and it's so open, using oils that often may actually weigh down the hair and take it into a space where the moisture is overloaded, or it's greasy, it's weighed down, and different things like that. So speaking of that, that takes us into what is moisture overload. Moisture overload, in a simple term, is when our hair is overly saturated with oils and heavy products to the point where our hair is soggy or even sticky feeling. Products like this are typically formulated with waxy or petroleum jelly bases. Like I mentioned, our favorite throwback product, Blue Magic, we know that it is what we call grease, and it's made out of a petroleum jelly base. Some of our old school favorites like Pink Oil Moisturizer, it's not really made out of a petroleum jelly base, but as we all know, our ponytails used to be sticky back in the day, and that's because Pink Oil Moisturizer is formulated with a heavy substance that causes it to weigh down the hair. One thing that keeps products like this still selling like hotcakes on the market is the confusion that we have about moisture balance and moisture overload. Moisture overload has one pro, and the pro of that is that since it's so heavy, it weighs the hair down, so it makes us feel like we have control over our hair. It can help smooth, it can help lay down, it can help even make twists and curls smooth. But it's not smooth because it's balanced. It's actually smooth and laid down because it's an over saturation of the product, and the hair is so weighed down that it has no other choice but to lay down. And we really don't want that. We can definitely control how much our hair lays down, how much control we have over, and how much smoothness we have in other ways than weighing it down and gunking it down with product. The number one reason why you want to avoid heavy products is because curls are like springs. Springs, if you imagine a spring or even a slinky, you know, they open and close, open and close. That's how curls act as well. So as those curls open and close, when we have products that are heavy, those products get in between that curl separation and gets locked in. That over time can cause consistent product buildup, which not only affects the way that your curls define and how your hair responds for you, but it also, over a long extended period of time, depending on your hair's current integrity state, can cause thinning and breaking. One for sure way to tell if your hair is moisture overloaded compared to moisture balance is that if you're using products to define your curls and your curls are limp, if your hair seems overly soft to the point where it's mushy or soggy or sticky, even after a good shampoo, your hair has officially been overloaded with moisture and it's all trapped in. Not only can the overusage of heavy products cause this, but skipping out on proper formulated protein treatments can cause this, as well as avoiding using clarifying shampoos after you have used a product that's been a little bit heavier than normal. If you feel like your hair may be suffering from moisture overload, here's 3 things you can do to help balance the moisture back out. First things first is we gotta get all those products out of each and every kink and curl. So we want to use a clarifying shampoo. If you have super dense hair or hair that is longer, be sure that when you're applying the shampoo to your hair that you use your fingers to create sections to be sure that the shampoo is getting all the way at the roots and through the ends. That way no oil is left behind. Once you feel like you've clarified it good enough to where it even gives you a squeaky clean, that's when you can come in with your moisturizing shampoo. Sometimes you can get that squeaky clean on the first wash. Sometimes it may take 2 or 3 washes with the clarifying shampoo before you can come back in with your moisturizing shampoo. The reason why I recommend making sure that you have it cleaned even almost to a squeaky clean when you're suffering from moisture overload is because we want to be sure that we don't leave anything that's old that may have oversaturated the hair behind. We want to create a clean slate so that we're able to balance out that moisture and get it where it needs to be without any old product left behind. The second thing I recommend that you do is if you're a person who does at-home deep conditioning treatments, you want to avoid doing deep conditioning treatments and using conditioner in one sitting. Here's what I mean. If you shampoo your hair and you decide, you know what, it's been a little while since I've had a deep conditioning treatment, and you do a deep conditioning treatment, use your deep conditioning treatment in place of your regular conditioner. You don't need to use both. Both products are designed and formulated to help restore and rebalance moisture. However, if you use both of them together, it can be an overload. If we start overloading the hair up with too much products before we even get into the styling aids, we're automatically prone to having heavier, weighed down, mushy, overloaded hair. I recommend doing a deep conditioner at home no more than about once a month, unless you're suffering from a significant amount of damage or there's a particular type of repair that you've been recommended to focus on. And the last thing I recommend, if you feel like that your hair is moisture overloaded, is once you do your shampoo, you rinse out your conditioner, you balance it out with your leave-in conditioner, or you do your shampoo, your deep condition, and balance it out with your leave-in conditioner. You want to start styling your hair with products that are designed to help restore and implement moisture back into the hair. That does start with your leave-in conditioner, but it also goes down to what you use as your styling aids. Are you going to be having your hair curly today, or are you going to be wearing your hair in a protective style? Determining how you want the end results of your hair to look before you get to the end can help you pre-plan which products are designed to help give you the results you're looking for, while also helping to keep everything in alignment and balanced. The way that we want our hair to feel, which lets us know that our hair is moisture balanced opposed to overload, is lightweight. Sometimes if the hair is in a dry state, not meaning that it's dry to the touch, but it's not wet, we can run our hands through our hair and we may have a little bit of a shine on the hands just from the moisture that's in there. Not so much to where we can hit the elbows, hit the kneecaps, not that much. That's going on to the overload side. But however, it's moisture balance if you can rub in your hair and fill in your hair and get a slight faint shine from the moisture that's instilled into the hair. Now that you know the difference between when your hair is moisture balanced or when it's just moisture overload, I hope that your next wash day and your next twist out or your next wash and go is perfect for you. Our hair not having enough moisture or having too much moisture affects the end result of any style. And sometimes we think that our struggles come from, oh, my hair is too tight, or oh, my hair is not moisturized enough, it's too dry. However, sometimes we can go a little overboard and put our hair in a state where it's overly moisturized and we overdo it, and it still puts us in a place where we're not getting the results that we're really looking for. I also have linked a hair goals vision board down below in the description box as well. You can download that vision board printable for free right now with the link in the description box. This was Victoria Tillis, your healthy hair and esteem coach. Until next time, happy healthy hair.